Welcome back, y'all. We are here, and I promised y'all I was going to get y'all my girls back in the building. I'm taking it up a notch. This is the Business of Pleasure podcast. I am your girl, Cash, your sexologist bestie, but I'm sitting over here with my spicy sisters. Now, I want to tell y'all, this conversation needs to come with a little bit of a trigger warning because it is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, but I promise you, we're not going to leave you there. We got some good stuff to give you. And really my hope is that for anybody watching this who may have been impacted by this or maybe know someone who's been impacted by this, that you're going to see that there is actually a lot of light at the end of that tunnel. Okay. Sometimes it's not always able, we're not always able to see that and recognize that. And when we experience traumas, one of the biggest questions we have is, how do we come back? How are we going to get back to the good stuff? So I want y'all to get that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff.
Ooh.
All right. I know. I just know. Yeah. See, look, she over there getting open. I knew what I had to say to get them hot and ready for y'all. Now, I'm going to introduce you to my babies over here to the left. And I'm giving it up to my CAC sisters. Okay, first of all.
Hey.
Okay. Give it up for Lady Z. Tell them, baby, LaDonya, what you got for them. Tell them a little bit about your BK story, what you're excited about right now. I just want to hear what's going on with you.
Okay, so I'm Lady D, originally LaDonya, and I'm from D.C. Not the DMV, but D.C. I just have to put that out there, No pun intended to anybody, but D.C. all day, baby. So I've been with Bedroom Kandi for 3 years, actually.
Okay.
I was introduced at a pajama party, and I love toys, I love sex, I love talking about it. And I felt like maybe I can do this. And
you did that.
Oh, thank you.
You did that.
I love what I do. So yeah, I'm here. I'm my second time being a CAC member. And I'm out here in these streets solving problems. You hear me?
Hey. I definitely do. And I know that for a fact. And I cannot wait because I know you're going to solve some problems for some people today, for sure. And excuse me, Miss Noni. First of all, she got the thigh highs.
What?
She did not come to play with y'all today. I need y'all to understand what the dark desires on the lap.
Right.
You got the straps and the wrist and the things right there ready. Okay. Well, y'all gotta really see what this girl's about to come and give. I want to introduce you also to Noni, aka Miss Into Me I See. Tell them a little bit about yourself, your journey with BK, and what you're excited about right now.
What's going on, everybody? It's Noni, aka the Into Me I See sexologist coach. It's all about intimacy, baby. You got to be into yourself first before you can be intimate with anybody else. So my journey, I'm gonna be like LaDonya. I'm from Queens, New York. It's a difference.
Period.
Okay,
New York.
Period. Yes. You from New York? Yes. Queens, 5 boroughs. We different. Harlem on the side, right? My BK journey started 5 years ago. Actually, this is my 5th anniversary of BK.
Oh,
yes.
Happy anniversary. I always say, I call it your candiversary.
My candiversary. Yes, it's my candiversary. And my first year on the CAC. I work hard to get
Yes. Congratulations.
Let's do this.
Right. I actually used to be with another company a long time ago. So if I would have stayed in the industry straight, it'd have been 25 years.
Wow.
Yeah. But my BK journey started off helping someone just because, and then I fell in love and then realized that I could be a coach and I could help people. One of my passions is help people really being into themselves, but after sexual trauma. So it it just happened. So that's my love for it. And I'm out here. And I'm an international author and speaker. International speaker also.
Okay.
My first book went international. Yes.
Oh,
and then the second one will be released in a couple of weeks.
Oh, that's like something to definitely be excited about.
Right.
Congrats. First of all, I always tell y'all at the Business of Pleasure, baby, we bring the sexy and the success. Actually, we put the sexy in success. How about that?
Yes.
Right. And as you can see, when we talk about it, you can kind of hear just all of the success, the accolades, all of that. But if you notice when they talk about what they're doing, they're like, yeah, actually, my book is coming out soon. And this is what I do.
Yes.
And I was like, that's the sexy and success, y'all. I just want you to know that's what it looked like. Okay. So I actually, I do want to ask you guys a question that's a little bit personal, but before I kind of go there and teeing up with sexual assault, I wanted to just take a moment to say something, because I had a conversation recently, y'all, that really made me realize, a follower of mine DM'd me actually after watching a clip from one of our prior episodes with Sir Daniel and Sunflower. And when Sunflower was on there, and then afterwards we had Aya, who was talking about consent, and she used the FRIES model.
Yes, I see that.
Acronym. And after that video came together, she said, after I just watched the last 2 clips, I think I was sexually assaulted. And so I asked her, if you're comfortable, which I'm hoping you are since you sent me this message, right? Maybe we can talk and you can give me a little bit more context so I can help you understand what might have occurred.
Right.
And as we were having a conversation, just a young girl, like a little sister to me, was so sweet, purest of gold, but in her 20s, very early 20s, college girl. And she said because she had an interaction, right, with a guy that she consented to as far as, penetrative sex, but she wasn't really down for oral. And she was like, hesitant, just, I don't know, and this and that. And he, like nudged her head in a direction like, come on, you got it, or whatever the case is. And so she was like, so, she went along with it. And to her, nothing in her head saw that as an assault. Until someone said, well, if they're pushing your head down,
It's an assault.
right. So this conversation provoked this person to think, dang, did this happen to me? And it made me realize so many people don't really know what it looks like. And me being transparent, and trigger warning again, my first experiences with sexual assault, I had the same exact experience, because the first time I was exposed was me repeatedly being forced to watch, right, a relative, play with themselves. And yeah, so I felt like I wasn't being touched. So at that age, I'm like,
It wasn't assault because
Yes.
you weren't being touched, but in reality, it was assault.
right, because
You did not consent to that.
Right.
and he had a sick thing for it. So he was getting his rocks off of knowing that he was being watched and all those type of things. So, some people do peeping Tom stuff, but other people will do it in their homes. But to me, it was just like, oh, I just seen it. It didn't actually physically touch me until later. It escalated, right? But what this conversation brought up for me is that sometimes it doesn't look the same, and we have this like one-dimensional way of viewing it. So I really want in this conversation of people to understand that it comes and shows up in so many different ways, and sometimes when we don't deal with it, it come out in the worst way. Because that was me. I don't know. Like, I had a little bit of a porn addiction at one point when I was younger. And like, why am I obsessed with watching sex? I don't know. Maybe it's because somebody was making me watch.
Right.
Watch them play with
A
themselves.
little bit of therapy. We figured out a thing or two. You know what I'm saying? But at the time, I really, the innocence, when they talk about protecting our innocence, that's what it is. Because the innocence in us doesn't want to see something bad is happening.
Right.
And I think Dr. Contessa might have mentioned this yesterday, or Dr. Tamara might have mentioned this yesterday when we were at the social affair. And I know you guys were out in the lobby working, so that's why I want to echo it back, because she made it very, very big point to stop and say, let's be clear, it doesn't always show up in in these ways.
That's right.
And a lot of people in the audience, I could see
Light bulb go off and realize that they have been assaulted in
Right.
ways that they didn't even realize they was being assaulted.
Or even a light bulb to say, oh, wow.
because you can tell when a person has a moment where, so at least 2 ladies in my direct vision I saw go, like as if they were reflecting back.
So they may be in your DMs.
But I'm a little bit, it emotionally overwhelms me thinking that there are so many people who assault doesn't always start with pain.
Right.
Because if you're really young, you don't know nothing to know that it's
Exactly.
pain. And even if it feels nice, that confusion. So
Yeah.
I want to
You
talk.
talking on the topic.
Right.
Yeah, we getting. So I really want to understand, and guys, feel free to only share what you feel comfortable sharing in your story. But if you could talk a little bit about what you felt your experience was, but I also want to get an understanding from you guys on how you feel it may have shifted your relationship with intimacy or pleasure. at any given point in life, and speak to that to your own comfort.
Okay. You want to start first?
Nope.
Okay. So with my experience, I was violated about between the ages of 7 and 10. I'm not quite sure of the age, but I can vividly see the experience. As a young child, certain things just light you up, especially when you bring your friends. And my predator preyed on me and my friends and took us around in his truck and rode us around. And I was the last person to be dropped off back home. And I can remember saying, "Oh, I want to drive the truck." And he said, "Get on my lap." And I got on his lap, and I can remember the fingers. And then after that, he took me home. And maybe a couple of days later, my dad used to say, "If anyone touches you, let me know. I'm going to kill them." And I said, "I don't want my daddy to go to jail." And what bothered me is that my mom never said to me, "Are you okay? Did anyone say anything to you? Did anyone do anything to you?" And because she never said that, I never acknowledged that I was violated. It was until I got older and I realized that I was sexually assaulted by someone very close to me, and she never asked me. So it made me grow up to where I wanted to be very knowledgeable about sex and educate young children, young adults on safe touching, what sex is, acknowledging what happened to you. So that's my experience. And how I got through it a little bit is, first I had to acknowledge that it happened to me. And it took a movie to kind of put it all in perspective. And once I acknowledged it, I started doing the work, right? And then once I started doing the work, I started to find out what my triggers were. Because something can happen, but you don't know what the triggers are until it happens.
Until it happens sometimes.
Yeah. So once I knew what my triggers are, then it's like, listen, I got to take my power back. I can't let this, take me or, keep me captive. So, but it was the work. You know, it took time to do that.
And it's so crazy. People don't think that the trauma shows up far later in life, even because sometimes we compartmentalize so well and we tuck the memory. And it's a form of survival. It's a survival mechanism. So we don't have the room or space to deal with this today. So we're going to put it here and we promise we're going to come get it back out.
Right.
And then we don't go get it back out. So then it start breaking the walls down. And it comes out in sometimes in a very aggressive way. Yeah. And oftentimes while we're having an intimate something. So like once I realized how much I personally now don't watch porn, right? And a lot of people wouldn't think of that given who I am and what I be doing. I only watch myself now. So I make my own videos and then I watch me. Yeah.
Right.
And,
I like that.
And because I started to realize, one, I've actually been on a porn set and I know how much BS it is. So that's number one. I done seen all kinds of time off, all kinds of drugs. I was like, they will make you think that what was going on was going on. It ain't no marathon. Don't let them fool you. If you can't last as long as them, trust me, they can't last as long as them. Don't let trick yourself into thinking that that's what it really looked like. Cause they got breaks, they got this, they got water bottles, they got, they taking supplements, they eating chicken coated in honey packets. That's the honey sauce on wings. They using ashton, right? So
not the honey sauce.
It gave me a big misconception. I mean, I remember being young, and I used to keep the old cable remote on the last channel.
Right.
Are we telling our age a little bit?
Hey, we look good though.
When's the last year that they started using those remotes where you didn't have a guy? Oh, you just had the button that go back to the last channel. And I used to
let's just say it doesn't start with a 2.
Right.
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 Damn.
It doesn't start with a 2.
Well, that's the button. I used to keep that trigger finger ready. As soon as my mama was coming.
Knew you wasn't watching.
Not at all. Not at all.
Like, you're not supposed to watch Benny Hill, but
So
everybody's asleep and you watching Benny Hill.
My mom told me later, I knew when you was doing it, right? I said, how? She said, the volume ain't never been so low on that damn TV.
See, that's why you see.
Because we would watch our cartoons extra loud.
Right.
And so all in all, she said, I just they never want you to feel bad. It's like, damn, I thought I was
See, that's why you got to keep it at the right value.
Yes, but then
So
how do you really keep it at the right value?
But that's why. But see, the cartoons you was supposed
It's gonna come
see,
through
that's
like
why the
this. I ain't
cartoons
wanna
was
hear
supposed to be a little.
I ain't wanna hear that. That's what I was.
What you was watching? HBO Max?
No, it was
Max
the reason why
Max.
the reason why the sound sounded like that is because it was like one of them not real cable channel access networks. There was this show called Robin Bird back in the day. Robin Bird, like a lot of people know about Dr. Ruth. If I'm being honest, I learned a lot on Robin Bird. She was a little bit more out there,
right?
But she had a channel where she was always kind of having sex conversations and inviting porn stars on. But in between of her conversations, there would be like pornos playing, but they were all Caucasian. Okay. So that's why I sounded like, ugh. Yeah, not like, no, it wasn't that. It was, ugh. So I was like, we're not going to watch this.
Cash, what time of night you was watching?
Two in the morning.
Benny Hill had went off by then.
Let me tell you, and then I went to the bathroom and took a shower because one time I got like heated, like hot, just because it was sexual. Yeah. And then,
but you used a shower head afterwards?
Well, I didn't know nothing about the shower head till this day. I didn't know about it till this day because it actually, you know, when you put it on the fast setting,
yes,
it fell off the top and it goes like, you know, right? And it passed my clit, and I was like, wait, bring it back. Until this day, I take 3-hour baths.
Oh, because the shower head was our original look.
It was the original pressure toy. Get clean and dirty at the same time.
Yes.
So I still, you know, do my fun stuff in the tub, which is why I love that womanizer. We can get to that later, but. It's really interesting how you don't realize the behaviors it was shaping, because I became so obsessed with watching it that it desensitized me, where I got to the point where watching two people on porn wouldn't do nothing for me. So now I got to take it up. I want to see a gangbang. I want to see a 3. Then I was like, all right, girl, you... Like, when you gonna be happy for what you watch? So for a little while, I realized that, you know what? I think I'm gonna actually take a little while to not watch it. I've seen it. I've seen people in pleasure and like parties, like lifestyle parties and stuff like that. Like if it's that, I'll see it. But videos,
watching it.
Y'all can hold that for a little while. I'll come back maybe later, but right now. But Noni, I wanted to hear from you. Tell me a little bit about what you feel, what you know occurred, and did it have an impact on your relationship with pleasure, like afterwards?
Actually, yes. So I was sexually molested from the time I was like 4 or 5 until I was like 14 by 2 different people. That was, and I'm going to just say it, my uncle and my godfather. Plain and simple.
It's somebody close.
Plain and
all
simple.
3 of us.
And if anybody doesn't know, predators don't like each other. And it's so crazy that I'm going to be 48 and I can still remember seeing interactions
between them,
where my uncle was babysitting and my godfather would be picking me up, and the looks that they would give each other. I don't think people, like we said, you didn't know that you were sexually assaulted, right? So it happened for so long. What actually finally made me tell was one of the security guards at my high school was telling me to go to class, and he touched me like on my shoulder, like, Noni, go to class. And I just flipped out. They was like, what happened? And that was the final time that I was actually able to talk about, this is what was happening to me. But it's so crazy that when I was being sexually molested by my godfather, there were times I enjoyed the pleasure because I was like, oh, this feels good. So not knowing that it's wrong, right, in the sense of this feels good. Oh, wait, I like this. And it wasn't until a few years ago, we talking about 2 years ago, that I was like, yo, this really traumatized me. So I always enjoyed playing with myself.
Yeah.
I did, and I enjoyed oral pleasure way too much, and because of the way I was feeling. So he had to have hair on his face because that's what I felt in between my thighs, right? So it was like one of those things. You didn't realize
that you were kind of associating things you were attracted to with what you had been introduced to.
Exactly. Right. So I'm going to be honest, it's not until, even though I've always enjoyed it, it's not until I got with somebody that it actually made me hypersexual, made me hypersexual, where that's the only way. If we had sex, that means you liked me. Or nope, I'm going to remove like. You loved me and you wanted to be with me. That's what happened to me. So I always had to have sex. Whoever I was with, I had to, because that's the only way.
I know
for
you
me
to show me
because you like me. It wasn't until I got with my partner now, when we first were together years ago, and we didn't have to have sex for him to actually like me and care about me and show me love and affection.
Like, what's this shit?
It was hard. And I'm going to be honest, right? There are still times that I'll say some slick stuff to him and be like, you just want to have sex with me. You don't care about me. You just want to have sex. Because when you are sexually molested, that's what happened. Because that's the way you showed it.
How does he respond?
He gets very angry.
Wow.
I would imagine.
He gets very angry. He was like, why do you keep saying that? No, I'm not using you for sex. If that was the case, you wouldn't be around. Because honestly, sex, after a certain amount of time, no matter how much you love sex, it's like, if that's all you're going to give me, I can find somebody else that's going to stimulate me.
Absolutely.
So
I agree with you. Yep. You can't turn my vagina on if you can't turn my brain and my mind and my heart on. Listen, because if one of them cut off, system malfunction.
Right.
It ain't going to work.
It's true. Yeah. Because when you think about it, when you get into it with your person, is your coochie getting wet?
And see, it was the opposite for me. So because the sexual assault by fingers, I don't like to be fingered. So
the things that he did now, like, repulse you, whereas you
with
saw
me, it was like
everybody has a different response.
Yeah,
it does.
So wondering why I just like to be banged out or fucked, but you could not finger me. You could not touch my clitoris. I did not masturbate with fingers. So that's where the love of toys came from. So I use the toys to like stimulate that. And so that's why I like clitoral stimulating toys, because I can get what I need. Because of course, statistically, women need some clitoral stimulation and penetration. So give me a clitoral stimulation toy all the time.
Right.
However, I've worked through it to where I can allow my husband to touch me, but I still haven't got past that part where he can finger me.
You know, I had a client recently that I was working with who was dealing with this, and gave her a recommendation that worked. Toys were the first step that we started with. Not big ones though, stuff that would be closer to the size of a finger. And then fingers with finger condoms on it were next, because it removed a little bit of the finger feeling. It didn't feel like a finger, it felt closer to a toy, like right in the middle. But then practicing BDSM consent. So like making sure that every time they went there that they asked permission. And her partner started practicing that with her and saying, do I have your consent to put this finger in you? And he would start at the beginning areas. Do I have your permission to go a little deeper? And she said the fact that he kept asking her and she kept getting to say yes.
That sounds sexy. She's saying it right now.
Yeah, she was just like, yes, you can. And so she said, before you knew it, every time he asked her more, and then she said that he ended up saying, now, do I have your permission to make you come?
Make me.
And she said, yes. And she said, for the first time, she was like, now I think I might actually have a problem with finger. I think I'm addicted to the finger.
I was cracking to solve my problem.
But she said that they did that what he did when he went deeper with his finger was obviously stimulate her in other areas and stuff like that too. And the distracting feelings from the other stuff helps her not focus as much on it. But the finger condom was a very successful like middle step.
That is, I'm gonna try that. Make me come, daddy.
And then you gotta let us know later on how
that consent talk was doing it for, because she said something in a consult that had me like, cause I said, are you open to exploring outside the regular box? I said, have you ever considered? She said, I like that
exploring outside the regular box. You just had me like, wait. Now I don't have that issue, but now I want to be like, let me order some finger condoms before I get home on Friday.
Can I have your permission?
Best brand.
Yes,
what's the best brand?
Oh, for the finger condoms. You know what's so crazy? I think people don't love Trojan like that, but they actually have one. You can't get it in regular stores because you don't really find finger condoms. But honestly, I had a whole bunch that Planned Parenthood give me. A lot of the clinics, they have the female condoms and stuff. Yeah. They have the finger condoms. Okay. And they'll give you an abundance amount for free. Because it's they do it. They especially give it out to help people get safe.
Finger condoms.
Right?
Come here. I may be already past it. I'm trying to tell you. I got a little hot private.
I said, what if he asked you? She said, what do you mean? I said, like, can I have your permission to enter you? She said, So I said, she said, can you say that to my husband? I told him. I said, you got me? He said, I got this.
Ooh, not that I got this.
Baby, I said, I ain't never been so happy to tell a client it was good working with you. Look, she said, I'm good. Yeah. I was like, well, damn. I'm about to give her
those are two good fingers, too. When she did that, that's the, ooh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. But I always tell them then when they go in there, side note, with the fingers, everybody wants to do this, right? Separate them a little bit. Give them a stroke like that.
Whoa.
So you kind of massage the sides of the G-spot. Give it these kind of motions.
Oh, that's a,
not
what is that?
That's a
yeah.
Oh, so we're doing a
yeah. We got settings. The fingers got settings. The fingers got settings.
Wait.
Yeah, so we was doing just like that. Just like that.
Open a little bit.
And then you can tap it. Just the same, you know how sometimes when it's like if you rub the vagina, right? Or if you smack it.
Yes. Oh, I like that.
Kind of play with it. And
Right, we having a conversation. Tap, right.
So I said your G-spot should feel every bit of all of those things.
Yes.
They usually only get hit.
Yeah,
everybody see the penis or finger, just or a toy, just bam. Yeah, have that. Like, take that.
Take me, daddy.
G-spot be over there like,
and then you know that a lot of them don't know you lift up the fupa a little bit, push it down, push it.
So if you really want to take it up, while he is doing that and that, you take your own hand.
Yeah,
and get
I
the
do
pressure.
that.
And baby, just start. No, don't just touch it. Just
push down.
Push yourself into it like that. Like
hold on,
grind into it like that.
She want us to, see, she want us to wet. She want us to wet our beds even more.
I'm gonna be moaning on this mic. That's right.
You gonna be like this, baby. Look, you have my permission.
My straight permission.
You got my permission, Daddy.
I'm taking notes. Okay,
wait.
Okay. I'm still hot. Lord have mercy. Okay.
And I don't have hardly any clothes on.
Nothing else? Oh, damn, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I see what I got in the bag. I
Bring it on back.
I'm saying,
Bring it on back like this.
She lent me a t-shirt the other day. We have to switch it back.
These are gang signs, right?
Yes.
So when I see you next time, I'll be like,
when I see you, I'll be like this. I love y'all. I can't.
You started. Yeah. You want to tell us, you helping us.
I just want to help.
That's going to be my success story. So when y'all see me and I do,
give me 5.
That's the signal. That's the signal. I'm going to be up the street like this. BK, BC, BK, BC.
And then wait, with the finger open a little bit.
We gotta make up a whole bunch of dances that's inspired by the way we want them to touch us.
Yes.
This is what to say, guys. I know you're having a hard time with that clit. Next time you see it, I want you to go round with it. Get a flick with it. Then y'all go
open it as a V. And open it as a V. And open it as a V.
Give it to me, Bring it to me, Bring it to me,
See? Oh, okay. Look, we done had a whole. We're about to blow up extra.
Right.
You know, they're gonna be like, look, we're gonna be booking out
women all around the world like this.
Yeah.
We jingling, baby.
It's no more this.
No more this.
No,
it's
this. Because if you ain't touching me in different ways on my G-spot, what are you even doing?
That part. He gonna be like, he said you can't. Why? He gonna say you can't go away no more because you come back and you're acting a little different.
But I'm coming back wet.
Right.
So it's okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm coming back wet. It's okay.
Okay.
Wet.
Okay.
Right.
That sounds like a job was
earlier. What is better?
Wet is always better.
That's right.
Blessed by the good sister Tony.
Yes,
Lord. Thank us.
Who is my sponsor?
Okay.
Shout out to Miss Kitty. Because I'm a kitten.
Okay.
That brings bliss to
Give
the
him a little
bedroom.
meow. Give him a little
Meow. Come get this kitty daddy. Let me stop playing. My husband's gonna kill me.
She ready for you, though. I just want you to know. When you watch this episode, it's gonna get her feeling like this all over again.
Right.
So if you were smart, okay, while she's talking and we get to this part and she start doing this, just start getting the fingers right.
Yeah, just getting the fingers.
So wait, but speaking on giving out game, giving out tips, what would be your recommendation products, right? If you had somebody who was like us, who's had a thing or two in their life, right, that happened to them to turn their trauma into treasure,
Okay.
right? What would you recommend?
Oh, can I go first on this one?
Sure.
Okay, so one, start looking in the mirror, right? We forget about that part.
We already here.
forget about that part. Start looking in the mirror, right? So you can start to love your body, because remember, your body already holds, your central nervous system holds that hurt, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So get that full body mirror, take everything off, open up your legs, and actually start looking at your vulva, and actually telling her she's worthy of you pleasing her first. Ooh. I know, right? That was good.
It was.
Right
here, because I'm worthy.
Yes, because so what we do is we sit back. We always talk about we worthy.
I'm sorry, y'all can't see behind the cameras, but the BK family in here, and we done already created a new language. Everybody got a new language. When I see everybody at convention, I ain't even gonna say, "Hey, girl, I'ma go."
They won't know what that is.
That is such a good advice, though. Yeah,
because you got to remember what is the whole, you're healing from a trauma, right?
Yes.
So the same way you look at yourself to build your self-confidence in the mirror, I am beautiful, saying your affirmations. Guess what? Start talking to her.
Ooh, pussy confidence.
What? Oh, we keeping that. And take note. Yes, pussy confidence. Because
ChatGPT. Give me a business plan.
Yes,
Right. No.
You know, pussy confidence. Because the reality of it is that when you start to truly love your whole vulva, your clitoris, no matter how big it is, when you open it up, looking at the colors, it's going to give you a different type of love for her, and letting her know, yo, you are the bomb. You are the bomb. And anyone that you allow to enter you got to be worthy of this bomb ass pussy.
Yes.
You know, I'm just saying.
Pussy,
sorry, you know. So that would be the first thing. And then the second thing for me is finding a toy that would work for you. I'm a clit stimulator. I'm really, like, for me, it's not hitting the G spot. It is having the most amazing clitoral stimulation.
Okay. So what would you go with?
Grab
Hold on. You can reach it. Can you reach it?
My soul is about to be snatched.
Oh, I already know what she's reaching for.
Snatcher. You gonna tell your story? We gonna tell your story.
I ain't wake back up after the first time I used that shit. I promise you that convention year, I don't need... They don't know what they did to us, giving us them little samples. We was trying to sprace them 30 minutes out for a while. They gave us, guys, they gave us this 30-minute womanizer. Meaning after 30 minutes, this baby wasn't cutting back on. It was like a sampler. I was like, how they gonna give us a sample toy? So you had to, once we first used it, we realized what it was. We had to wait like, 2 months, 3 months before the actual...
Womanizer came in.
So we had 30 minutes on that toy to stretch across 3 months of wait time, and everybody in there 1 minute right away cut it off, because the moment it died, it was like a funeral had to be had.
My goodness.
But I wouldn't have been able to last, because like I said, this has been my baby for the
housekeeping
last
thought something
5
was happening
years.
to me, and not like pleasurable, because the sounds that was coming at me the first time, I didn't know what the hell that was. I was like, we were supposed to come back downstairs after this? I didn't care about who was getting recognized that night. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, had to gather myself, because that thing snatched my soul in 33 seconds, I think it was the first time.
Yeah, I call them gone in 60 seconds, because you're going to get it before 60 seconds.
Now for me, my actual challenge is to make myself last longer. And what I do is I do look in, either my mirror or my camera, because I told you to be making my own stuff, right? And I'll be like, yeah, you could take it, bitch. I start.
So you mentioned that before.
I like that.
Edging. You mentioned edging before. So I actually started doing that because this beautiful toy, the Womanizer Pro, 7 settings.
Why
High to
you
low.
stroking it?
So for me, no, right? Hey baby, this actually sits by my bedstand,
And it looked like a temperature thing, right?
Right, my temperature.
right? So I've used, like before, like I said, I'm very big on clit stimulation. So I would use a bullet from old company long time
Okay.
ago. So we talking about the metal. Okay, came in the Bedroom Kandi like what? Oh, I don't have to burn myself as I'm, because
Doing it.
people don't
Right.
realize. And this AirPlus, this is not even a bullet, but baby. So 7
It hit
settings.
like one shoe.
Right.
So when y'all talked about this, when I first came into BK, he was like, oh my God, I couldn't last past the first setting. I was like, the first setting? Okay. So I turned it on the first setting. I was like, what the hell is this? This
Take
ain't
it
doing
up.
nothing.
Take it up.
Wait, hold up. This is still not doing nothing.
Ooh.
And I was mad because I'm sitting there trying to, y'all talk about, it was 15 seconds, 30 seconds. I was like, okay. I put it on 7.
Once you get to the last one,
It's a done deal.
Yeah, I put it on 7, and within 15 seconds, my whole entire bed was wet. I was like, you have officially, you are my best friend.
Right.
baby, that deserves it. Look, that deserves it. That deserves what it is.
And
Thing.
I actually, always, that release, and it's like, oh.
Have you
but
ever picked it up and
now,
gone back in with it?
huh?
Have you ever picked it right back up?
Yes.
And went back in?
Yes.
I was going to talk about that experience
Yes.
with
So
you.
I
Yes.
actually do. I actually, if I start and I pull her out, I'm gonna at least do 7 times, and then go to sleep.
7?
Yes. Yes.
Like you say,
Yes.
when you send 7 times,
Yes.
you send 7
Yes.
more times.
Yes.
So you just want a 7 orgasms
Yes.
times
Yes.
7 more. Come on now.
Yeah, so it's like 7 times, and pedal gets bigger and bigger, right?
Oh my goodness. Ooh.
But what I had to start doing was,
the protector I got.
Ooh.
but what I
None won't get wet.
right. But what I started doing was edging, because I'm like, I don't always want. I want to play, so I actually go all around my lips and just have it. And what I started doing was going on the low setting and then working my
it
way
up.
up, because I'm like, I don't always want it to be, because honestly, so remember, if you play with your clit with a toy a lot, you desensitize it when
Correct.
it's time for your partner.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest, that happened to me because I was using the toy so much. So I had put her down, because I was like, no, I want him to do it. No, I still use it. Before I left to get on, on Friday, I had to make sure,
Okay.
but I had to realize, all right, we're going to use her, but we're not going to use her as much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let me tell you my experience.
Please tell me what you did with her.
So, can I touch her?
You can.
Okay,
I know
so
Cash is going to
listen.
tell my video story.
She's very tactile with her stuff. She likes to feel them toys, baby.
I like to touch. See, it's the touch.
She
the bad
immediately,
touch.
did you see her hand automatically
I
went like
did,
that? You saw that?
The bad touch made me have great touches now. So that's what I'm about to say. But I want to get you the experience before I talk about my toy with the thing. So, with the Soul Snatcher, I just knew about the experience from all the consultants, right? And so one day I said, let me try it, right? And so what happened, I got in a position, I remember you saying, when you masturbate, get in that position to get yourself ready. So I propped myself up.
Yes, you did.
And so I put it on 1, right? And so I had an orgasm so quick that I said, nah. So I was like, do it again. Right? So I went on back.
Do it again.
I did. I went on back and I said, oh. I text my friends. I said,
Were you just as disgusted as me?
What happened?
Like, where all
my
this
nipples
come
are
from?
getting hard. Just
Like,
think about that. Lord have mercy.
Where all this fluid come from?
Chill, you're going to give me a headache from laughing so hard.
Listen, I went right back because I don't know, it's something in me. If it's real good, just throw it back.
Just throw it back.
I just went back real quick and it happened again. I was like, damn.
Oh, so you at 3 and you talk about me with 7?
Listen, I was only 1 minute and 30 seconds. Okay? So I'm going to pass that back to you, right? So I'm going to talk about, because my thing was the bad touch, right? So of course I like to, play with this girl, play with this kid, and play with this flower, right? So this is a pedal pleaser, right? So please me, baby, is what I say. So what I like about pedal pleaser is these pedals right here.
You feel them so much.
Once you turn them, let me turn it on first. You always got to hold it down for 3 seconds. Can you do that? Oh my God. So it has. So it has all this virus. So.
She gonna make me. My bun gonna come out.
So we gotta make it light. We gotta make it light.
So one thing about the clitoris is because a clitoris comes in different sizes, right?
It sure do.
It's not just one. You know, we got the hood, the peekaboo, we got all the little things going on. So this gives great coverage to the clitoris. So what you're supposed to do, actually, you're supposed to put your finger in there, right? But, you know, I wear nails, so I learned a technique. I put it in the side. And I put that baby there.
It's even, rub it. And you know what? That's the way to go for a man, too.
Yes. Yes.
That's the way to go if you use it on a man. When you take that pedal pleaser, just the same way you was giving that full coverage, baby, we talking perineum, perineum. We make a little, we gonna have a dance at this point with all of the motions.
We can do this.
I was just back, and when I tell you them ridges, because it's so wide.
Right.
So it's getting everywhere, just like I was on our clitoris.
Everything. But then what I did, can I see that?
Yes.
You know. Wait, what's up, sir? I went to the side one time.
Oh.
So that I could still.
Yes. I'm going to try that.
You just be from here to here to here to You just give them everything you got, baby. Just please.
So that means this weekend, do not disturb.
My drawers is wet. I'm just saying.
You just gotta.
I'm sorry. Y'all don't have to take that out if y'all don't, but I am wet over here, baby.
That's what it is.
Lord, I love what I do. I love what I do. I do. I really do.
We can tell. We can tell. I'm telling y'all. Try that pole.
I'm going
try
to.
that hole. Because when I tell, look. You see how you see the functionality, the way you can really functionality with it.
Can I hold this?
So yes.
Try my finger.
And if you really want, look, y'all know I love y'all. Come under the frenulum.
Yeah.
And right here, follow with your mouth like that.
Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it.
Oh man, I can't. Okay,
look, you gonna get somebody pregnant.
Take it
You gonna
back.
get somebody pregnant who can't get pregnant.
Right. Okay, just put your finger in one time. What she say?
Through the side angle.
Do you give me consent to touch you?
I actually do give you consent.
Yes. So what you're gonna do is slide it on that thing. There you go. Ooh.
See, I'm gonna make sure I have lube on my
You
finger
see?
too. So.
And you know why I do it that way? Because when you got your nails, it puts your nails to the side.
Yeah.
So
You
it
know
doesn't
what?
poke
It's
them.
true.
Yeah.
It doesn't poke them.
That's a new technique. We learned two things.
Right.
All that.
See, I told y'all I can't even get pregnant, but I'm gonna get pregnant.
Okay.
No,
I'm sorry, what was your question, Kasha? Did you have a question?
Yeah, for real. What question?
what I did, I had a game I wanted to play with y'all. Okay. But I also want us to make sure when we close out, we also give them our favorite soft product recommendation to build their confidence or just make them feel good. But I want to play a game where I'm going to use a one-line sentence to describe a product, and you have to try to guess what product I'm talking about. Okay. The first one is I want you to immerse yourself in the deepest, darkest place and let your senses lead the way. What product would let you immerse yourself into the deepest darkness of senses?
Dark Desires.
Which one?
The Mask.
Okay, girl.
That's only because we know that's my favorite. You see me with the Dark Desires on my lap. So
Okay. Now this one right here is a touch of cool and a touch of heat that lights your passion in the place that it counts the most. It feels a little cool when you first touch it, but then it gets warm.
So that could be a
Things
couple of
heated up.
things.
right.
That could be turbo, or that could be warm me up lube, baby.
Warm me up is definitely the one.
See, in my head, you want to know what I thought about?
Ignite me could also be an answer for that though too.
Yep.
Okay.
What you thought?
My mind went to Sweet Spot.
Sweet spot works too, but you know, it was if you hit it with cool.
Well, that's what I thought
It
about.
starts with the heat and
Right. So that's why, you know, I had it.
But a lot of people don't realize the warm and lube actually feels cold when you first apply it, and then when you start getting
Friction, you
friction
start
going,
I'll
you
be
start
like,
hating on
wait,
that.
What's easy
with the fingers,
Be like, hold
the
up.
fingers, the fingers
What's
with
that?
the warm and lube. We got to do the fingers with the warm and lube. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what I'm thinking is for this next one is if you're really trying to build up your inner strength, this is the trainer that got a little sensual side to it.
Love
It could be.
crush.
Give it
Yes.
to me, babe.
Yes. I was actually going to do the other one too. Yeah. I
Love
couldn't
Life
think of
Crush.
Love Life Crush.
See, my girls know their stuff. My girls know their products.
Love Life Crush.
Yes, crush on me.
Yes.
Crush.
This
Because I had
Pink
to
and
let you
teal,
know that I
pink and
got a
teal,
crush on
depending
you.
Whatever color you want to do in
Absolutely.
that time.
I like, what made me think about doing that was because you remember how back in the day, songs didn't say the thing, when they said the thing.
Like the electric slide.
I wonder if we could give a description, like exactly. We could give a description for our products that said the thing without saying the thing.
That's a good way for consultants to learn as well. So
Especially on social media, because you know they don't like us on there with certain
Right.
talk. So,
But I
like,
think
what-
it depends
how
on
can we
who
give
it
a little-
is. It depends on who it is.
How to get an
Yeah.
orgasm on social media. Everybody will be happy. Come on.
You know what they say when people got a bad attitude?
They need to
Need to get
release
some.
Release.
Okay.
self pleasure or partner pleasure. Just release
Right.
it.
It's yes, absolutely. We already associated with bad attitudes, y'all. Come on.
Yes.
All right. So I want to ask you though, also outside of just the intimate, pleasure play, like we done got to. If a person either wanted to help just make themselves feel good with some of our soft products or some of our soft products, what do you think helps them feel confident, show up well in their skin and their body, and feeling like that baby been taken care of down there and loved on?
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
So,
Oh, she got my boo on her hand.
let me tell you something. So, I'm not sure people understand that the skin is the largest organ on our body, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And we like to be, moisturized on the skin. But what about the vulva? The vulva need to be moisturized, baby. You need to come on and revitalize that baby.
Revitalize me.
Listen,
Come and revitalize me.
This will get the juice going on the inside and keep it moisturized on the outside. You hear me?
It for sure is.
Listen, and people like to do waxing and shaving. So once you do that, you just take some of this balm, and rub it on that kitty. And guess what? Them juices is gonna be warming up like a preheat oven. It's like warming on up
All the way up.
in the inside. Yeah, revitalize me, baby. So this is a soft line wellness product.
Yes, ma'am.
And what I'm saying, and especially like women who either like menopausing or perimenopausing, they may start experiencing dryness. Come on, revitalize me.
revitalize me.
Even after
kitty.
hysterectomy.
Yes, just revitalize this kitty. You hear me?
Listen, I didn't know
It's one of
about
those things,
Revitalize Me until I came into Bedroom Kandi. And I was like, oh.
People don't know
I
about
like
vulva
this.
balms. They don't realize that there's actually specified moisturizer for their coochie.
And you have to be mindful of saying vulva bombs, because the lady said to me, "You mean a bomb, B-O-M-B?" I said, "No, baby, a bomb, B-A-L-M."
Oh, she said bomb.
Yes. So yes.
No,
you
we
gotta-
got something to make her explode, but that ain't
Right.
one. You know
That's
what
not
I'm
one of
saying?
them.
That's not the
So
one.
that's a great soft
I love
line.
Revitalize Me. Everybody's favorite number one, and I do keep it in my bag at all times. It's hot cakes, but honestly, as far as vulva moisturizer, that's the one I use more frequently. Hot cakes I use on days that I'm gonna be active and moving, but when I have my nighttime routine, that's what I go for.
Make it feel so soft and good.
Especially so, and I don't know if any other you guys recognize, but my environment changes through my 4 phases every month. Like when I'm in one, we have not just our menstrual, you have your follicular, then you have your ovulation cycle, and then you have the final cycle, which I call the hell cycle before the period come, which is luteal,
Right.
aka I call her a luteal, BITC, y'all know the
Right.
rest. And because she'll turn you into one for real, you don't even know what's going on, and you be like, why did I do that? I had to tell myself 3 times last week, Savannah, you have a good man.
Oh, not Savannah, you have a good man.
Yes.
Oh.
Savannah, you have a good man. Stop giving him a hard time this week, because I did. But I noticed that whenever I'm about to go into after ovulation and my estrogen drops, that I start to notice more, like feeling a little bit more irritated.
Yeah.
And I'm very sensitive. So
Yeah,
her.
revitalize
She make
that
her
kid.
feel revived. Yes. She give me a little something to be nicer about during that time. But what about you, Miss?
Mine is going to be for her hotcakes and sugar daddy. I actually mixed them both.
You mix them up?
I mixed them both because I'm going to be honest, they saved me a few years ago when I used them, because remember we talked earlier, they were talking about under the arms.
Yes.
I can no longer shave. So I actually had Nair and it burned my skin. So I couldn't put deodorant on. And I used both of them, both Sugar Daddy and Hotcakes, under my arms. And I was getting ready to go away for a weekend. And it saved my life, brought down my inflammation.
Yes.
Because remember, the Sugar Daddy has lemon.
Which is something that's gonna, it's an
antibacterial. Yep.
And it also has agents that help with inflammation, anti-inflammatory.
So I put them both on because, I'm a little juicy. So I like to make sure, we sweat in places you don't realize, you sweat, you lift that up. Sometimes if you don't dry it all the way, and it doesn't matter what size you are, if you don't dry
all the
it's
way,
going to be a
moisture.
smell to it. And because I have some extra meat on me, I don't like smells. That's one of those things. So I'm so cautious, I got to make sure I'm extra dry.
Right.
So what did I say that we needed to do we had to look at her, right? So I make sure she nice and rubbed in. I work from home, but I still want to make sure
that everything's feeling right.
Yeah.
It's 1,000%. I agree. You know what's so funny? And I think a year ago, remember I had a breakout.
Yep.
It was between a combination of I couldn't use deodorant because my arms were so sensitive, and it would actually, if I put deodorant layer on, it burned. It was literally, and that's when you start to realize it's really some BS in this stuff. Because why is something making me burn, right? But I use a combination of Rejuvenate Me.
Yeah.
Right, Hotcakes to help to fight the perspiration, or on the hotter days, Bust a Move, honestly, because it stopped me from sweating.
That makes sense.
I don't sweat that much, but it was helping. And then Illuminate Me to fade it, right, and that literally brought my skin complexion back from
dark.
Yes,
It was
I had to show
dark
y'all a
red.
picture. It was crazy. I was like, what is going on with me? But that's why we got to make sure we checking our hormones, y'all, because my hormones were
Off the chain.
doing something. I don't know what they were doing. Okay, guys. Well, I want to say, shoot, y'all gave me way more than I thought we was going to get. I hope I gave you something that's going to get you. Yes. But what I would love for you guys to do is for Money Making Monday, because since money out there, go get it. Tell them a little bit about what you're doing to go get it.
I'll go first. Okay. One of the things I'm doing is with my second book. It's actually a journal. It's a 366 intimacy journal. So it has a intimacy journal prompt and an affirmation. So with that, speak about being into yourself. So like I said, into me.
I see
before I'm intimate with my mate, right? So it's deeper than just products, but just really advocating for that. And I'm going back to school so I can become a grief and trauma sex therapist.
I love it.
Because that is something near and dear, because I realized that a lot of people go through things. You mentioned something earlier on it comes out in different parts because you compartmentalize it, right? I'm misunderstood as aggressive. I'm strong. Yes, I am strong, but I have a passion. If I'm speaking to you a certain way, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. That means I actually care about you. If I don't say anything at all,
you don't give it.
I don't care. But one of the things I've learned is if you don't know me, you wouldn't know that. You'll automatically put me in this, why she's so aggressive. But if you really listen to what I'm saying, damn, she's not trying to hurt my feelings. She's trying to tell me something, So what I've actually been doing with that is majority of the time, don't say nothing at all. And I know a lot of times people are like, no, that you being fake and phony. No, because there are people who cannot take it. So I've learned to just stay back. And with that, that's why with Money Making Mondays is actually talking to people about it. I am going to start having workshops So I'm speaking about both, not only just the toys, but also the soft line. Because one of my favorite things too is the skincare line. Our skin. When you have better skin, you feel good, right? So when you start looking at yourself and paying attention to yourself in a mirror, it comes out differently. You'll start to be intimate with yourself. People automatically think intimacy is sex. But right now, think about it. Right now, we having this intimate conversation on a podcast, right? On the Business of Pleasure podcast.
Yes, right.
Hello, Business of Pleasure podcast. That's where I'm going with my Bedroom Kandi business.
I love that. I like that your passion. I always say, you figure out what you're passionate about, make it your purpose, and turn it into a paycheck.
Right.
Say that again for the people who didn't hear
They
you in the
need to
back.
understand. Figure out what your passion is, make it your purpose, and then turn it into a paycheck.
Right.
It will help you show up on the days that you really don't. I promise you how many times I get up and I be like, oh, I gotta go do this. And then I get there and I forget any of that feeling. It helps you really get up and go. So I love that everything that you're speaking in is rooted in the passion, but also you sounds like you're growing yourself while you're growing others, because you're noticing things about you that you might want to, you know what I'm saying, work through, or just while you're also sharing. So I love that you're paying it forward. Okay. What you got?
Look at Lady D. Wait, did you see Lady D?
Yes, I did. Oh, I felt them actually.
Okay. So for Money Making Monday, what I would say is, first, for consultants, to be their authentic self. You know, don't try to be somebody else. Be who you are, and understand that we're not salesmen. We're problem solvers. So if kitty dry, get that. If you ain't had an orgasm in a long old time and it's dusty down there, get a toy. Be the best you can be in this business. Be a product of your products. You know, if you don't know the products, start to learn them. We have everything you would need to survive on a monthly basis.
That's true.
Like you can go to your own store, invest in yourself as a business owner for wellness things. So just learn your products, continue on to learn, continue to grow, and get this money. It's money out there. Let's go get it.
Go get it.
It's money out there. Go get it.
It's
They
so
scared.
funny how I'm gonna tell you something right now. This was a PK party on the low. I need y'all to know that, right? It was a whole move. I want to just say, first of all, I really appreciate y'all being as open as y'all were. Thank you for sharing that with everyone, because I know a lot of people gonna resonate, but also are gonna feel, y'all see my girls is with it. You know what I'm saying, baby? The light is bright. Okay. And I think that what I love the most in hearing from just even talking to all of you guys, everybody has some way that the brand or the company has played a role, and they're either coming back or raising the awareness of themselves, or so it's you're gonna find it.
So it's the training too. When you think about it, we don't have foundations for no reason.
Yeah,
we don't have next gen for no reason.
That's true.
Those are the two things that's going to help you with personal development. Yeah. You know, a lot of people stay in BK because of the community, but when you think about the education that we get, you know, you make a decision on what you want to do, and you can still do the business as a hobby.
Yes, that's true.
And learn, you know, you don't know a product. I remember when I started 5 years ago, to the point where my team leader used to come to me about the dashboard in the back office, because I was it. Every call, everything that was possible, stay plugged in. And I was on the website looking it up. That was just because I wanted to learn. I wanted to know everything.
I'm telling you, y'all know y'all shit, though. I tell you that. We don't know. I hope y'all know some stuff now, too. So I want to tell you, if you heard something today that connected or resonated with you, let's just say for 2 seconds that maybe you feel like business is not the thing that you want to do. Y'all need to have a party. Y'all need to get a product. Y'all need a something, okay? Trust me, you're going to feel connected to it. But outside of that, if you feel like you want to really dive deep into that education that they're speaking about, that personal development, that community, that love, and then you also can get high on your own supply with a little discount.
Come on.
Okay?
Come on, discount.
Come and join us. Right now,
it's free.
It's free.
Yes.
So make it make sense while you ain't do it yet. Well, I'm going to tell you, this has been a great episode of The Business of Pleasure. I want to thank my girls. We coming right back because we're not done with you. Okay, bye.
Bye.